Hey guys, so I know I haven't posted any videos in a while, and there's a reason for that. I started mentioning it on the last video and maybe the one before it, so I ended up getting a form of cancer called hairy cell leukemia, and so I've been going through the cancer treatments and stuff like that for a little while now. I had to get chemo for a week back in April. It was like April 28th to May 2nd I had to get it. And then I've also, on April 28th, started something called immunotherapy. And that's how your body goes into remission from the hairy cell leukemia. So the chemo is to kill most of the cells. And sorry, it's a little bit windy today, so hopefully it's not coming through on the video. But the chemotherapy is supposed to kill like a majority of the cells, so that's why they only gave it to me for a week. And then the other one is immunotherapy, which is supposed to basically train my cells to seek and destroy the cancer, and that's how you go in remission. And it's supposed to last for like 15 to 20 years before you need to go like get the therapy again. So that's what I've been doing. I have to get blood checks every Monday and Thursday, which I actually just went and got my blood checked about 2 hours ago. So I'm almost back to normal number-wise, but like I still have a ways to go. I've been off work since April 28th, and I'm supposed to go back in August sometime. So far I'm supposed to go back in August sometime, but the thing is I get another bone marrow biopsy on actually next Thursday, which is the 24th of July, and then I don't find out the results of that until August 15th. So I'm not going to know if I can return to work or not until after that, because I'm not going to know if I need treatments or not. So I mean, I'm not going to know if I need more treatments after that or not. So I'll have to see, you know, what the doctor says and stuff, maybe before the bone marrow biopsy or maybe during, to see about the work schedule. So that's what I've been dealing with. It kind of sucks. Part of the cancer, because the cancer itself didn't almost kill me, but having the cancer, my red blood cells and white blood cells and hemoglobin were all very, very low. And like it was so low that when I walked into the ER, the nurses that were there were surprised I was even walking with how low my numbers were. And then also when I was getting my chemotherapy, the nurse that was doing it, she said that my hemoglobin, it was like a 1.3, and she said she's actually dealt with like she was in the cancer center for as a nurse for like 8 years, and she said she never saw a hemoglobin that low. The lowest she ever saw was around 2, and mine was a 1.3. So it was very low. And then I also, when I walked into the ER, because of those low numbers, I walked in the ER and I ended up having an 11-day hospital stay. I was in the ICU for 3 days, and then they put me in the normal hospital area. But the night I went to the hospital was in my hometown, which is not a big hospital. And they wanted to life flight me because at first I was okay. Like I had a fever, had 102 fever, which when you have cancer, you're not supposed to have that. Anything above 100, they want you to go to the ER, which luckily I did, because about 6 hours later, while I was in the ER, all of a sudden my blood pressure tanked down to 64/30, and I started slumping over, and they like rushed over to help me, and I don't remember much after that. I was sitting there talking to my dad, because my dad brought me into the ER since I couldn't really drive with how I felt. But I didn't feel bad enough to get an ambulance, though. That was the thing. So my dad came over, he drove me, And then he was sitting there talking to me, and he said, well, I'm gonna leave here in about 15 minutes. And I was like, okay. And we're sitting there talking, and like 5 minutes later, my blood pressure crashed, and that's when everything happened. So they still don't know, even after me being in the ICU, they gave me antibiotics and stuff, but they still don't know what caused everything. They know it was an infection of some sort, and it went after my heart, so that was the problem. Since my body was so weak from the cancer and the chemo and stuff, the infection just got to me like instantly. And so they know it was an infection that went after my heart, but they don't know like what infection it was. They just gave me antibiotics and it worked, and that was it. So I mean, they gave me antibiotics for like 7 days and then it went away. So I'm still on heart medication because of a blood clot that developed when I was in the hospital. So the blood clot right now, it finally went. It's been like 2 months now since actually 3 days ago was 2 months since I went to the hospital. So yeah, the blood clot just finally went away. Like I couldn't feel it this week, but last week I could still feel a tiny bump. So I still had it last week. I probably still have like a remainder of it now, but just not big enough to feel it through my skin. So, but yeah, so I had a pretty rough time with everything that was going on. It extended my therapies 2 more weeks because I had to skip those 2 weeks. And then also because it went after my heart, I had a lot of problems walking and all that stuff, so I've been off of work probably about a month longer than I was supposed to be, and I'm probably going to end up being even longer than that because of once I get my results from my bone marrow biopsy in August, I'm not going to know if I can go back to work or not until I get those results. So I'm going to have to like extend my short-term disability and my FMLA and stuff for that probably. But as it's set, I'm supposed to go back to work like the day after my results come back. So I don't know how I'm going to extend that without having the results, but I guess I'll figure it out. Call the companies and see what they say. But yeah, so other than that, that's why I haven't been making videos. I've been I'm actually feeling better now. Like the last 2 weeks I've been okay, but even like 3 weeks ago, I went to let the dogs out one time, and I reached for the doorknob, and I started stumbling backwards, and I went about 8 feet back into the wall, stumbling backwards. But I didn't fall, but it was still like I had balance issues, and I still have memory issues, which is part of the cancer and part of the therapies also. I think more so it's the cancer, because what they told me was my blood cells my blood cells are trying to stay near my vital organs to keep them going, especially when I had the low numbers. Because they said I could have had a heart attack at any time because I had such low numbers and everything, that I was so weak that my heart was just like working really, really hard. And now it's gonna start raining, so but yeah, so I'm gonna end that here. But yeah, so that's the problem, is my heart was really, really, really weak, and I couldn't do much. So even walking upstairs could have been bad for me. So, but so if you have any questions or comments, I'm gonna start making videos again somewhat soon. Maybe not for a couple more weeks, but we'll see. I have to do a bone marrow biopsy next week, so I won't be able to walk around for a few days. But yeah, we'll start making more videos again. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching, and appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you would like. And thanks for watching.